lies that are keeping you as the trader broke in the market. But why do you think that traders stay broke trading? You stay losing. You're supposed to be getting better and better month by month, but yet you stay the same. That's exactly why 2023 looked just like 2022, 2024 looked like 2023, and now 2025 is off to the same start of unprofitability. So why, with all your studying, all your hard work, are you not killing it in the market and seeing that consistent success that you long for? I don't win in the market because I've been day trading for over a decade. Time doesn't equal success. It never does, it never will. The reality is that you, as a trader, have believed 4 industry lies that have been forced upon you that are keeping you broke year after year after year. Chained to unprofitability, and until you understand and reject these 4 ideas, these 4 fallacies that you have been taught to believe, you will always remain chained to unprofitability. And no matter how much you learn, no matter how hard you work, you're simply rowing in a boat that's chained to unprofitability, and there's no escaping it. And in this video, I'm going to go over exactly how to teach you how to break that chain through these 4 fallacies, and going over specifically how you adopted these lies, why you believe them, what the 4 lies are, and how to defeat them from your trading and psychology so you can actually start killing it when it comes to trading. Let's get straight into it. So when it comes to actually being able to kill these fallacies in the market, right? First, let's understand exactly how these fallacies, how these lies got there in the first place. Because without understanding that, how can we understand exactly how we can fix them? It doesn't make sense, right? So what color should we use here? I like blue. So let's start off exactly with the origins. It's important to understand the origins of how these lies originated. How did they come about, right? You didn't just start believing lies, but something came, right? Something happened, you heard something, so you can start believing these lies as truths. Right? So let's first understand this bedrock idea that this whole topic is going to be covering over. And this is the idea that we want to emphasize. Now, what does this mean? Trading built on a foundation of fallacies can't possibly succeed. Is this how you spell fallacies? I don't know. RD was trying to get fancy and ask for vocabulary, but the topic stays the same. If your trading is built on a foundation of lies, then how can you possibly succeed? That's like a house being built on a foundation that's not made of concrete, not made of stone, not made of durable stuff. So anything that you try to do with your trading, it will never work because the foundations that your trading is based on is not truth, but it's of fallacies, it's of lies. And we got to understand, how do we start to believe these lies? And more importantly, how can we abolish these lies from our trading? So the origin of most lies that I find when I'm talking to traders and I'm trying to understand their mindset, why they're losing, because all losses come from mindset. Very, very, very few, very, very, very few percent of the time are losses actually coming from strategy. It's all from mindset. And their mindset, for the most part, they adopt them from a few places. But to go over the main ones, and I'm going to go down from this. Is their information source. And the information source can either change your trading forever, change your tongue tied like crazy, change the trajectory of your trading, or it can hinder you and never cause you to even get off the ground, right? So with information source, what am I talking about? This can be anything from your teacher. When it comes to the information source, it can come from so many different areas revolving around the teacher, right? What is teacher? Teacher, in other words, like we love to say in trading for some reason, is your guru. Whoever your teaching guru is, I'm not going to name people, whoever that person is, you love to listen to. You love to see their strategy videos on YouTube or whatever media source you look at. This is going to be that person, right? It can come from multiple gurus you listen to. And if you listen to multiple different gurus on the internet, if you listen to multiple different people on the internet, when it comes to strategy, when it comes to trading, well, this is a pretty short video for you. I found one reason why you're not profitable. But anyway, this can be from multiple people you listen to, right? This can be from just multiple random videos or lectures that you may find on trading, on what trading is, on what people have done for trading. This can be friends that you may have in the trading industry that you're getting your information from, and just etc. Etc. Can be things like social media. Social media paints a terrible perception of trading, what trading is, and just a bad source of information, i.e., a bad source of what you're building your foundation upon. That's why you have to be so careful of all of these different media sources, all of these different physical sources that you listen to when it comes to your trading, because you're building your foundation on it. So it can come from the information source, and that's typically one of the biggest sources that it comes from. But I also found, and this is one not as popular as information source, but nevertheless, it's still apparent. It can come from your desires, right? Everybody in trading has desires, right? Whether the desire is to be able to quit your job, whether the desire is to just make extra income. I know his handwriting is crazy. I'm currently in a super awkward squat while writing with one hand, so it's going to be bad. But what are your desires from extra income? Quit your job. It doesn't matter what your desire is, but oftentimes I find that people's desires are actually going to make them stretch what trading actually is and make trading something that it's not, just so that what they want to be able to fulfill their desires is able to do it mentally. What does that mean? That means that people start building fallacies around trading, what trading is, what trading can do for them, to be able to rationalize their desires and rationalize that trading can be the thing that gets them to their desires. Right? And of course, that's not saying that trading can't do it. Trading absolutely can do it, but their own desires twist and distort what trading actually is. Right? Through these different sources, right? I only put two up here because for this video, I don't want to go in depth on where these lies came from. The important part is what the four lies are and how we're going to get rid of them. But through these two sources, lies about trading, lies about what trading is, lies about what trading can do, has been spread to you, and you began to believe these lies. You began to believe these fallacies, right? And that's why vetting and really being careful of your information source, right? Even when you're starting off trading, but as you continue to trade, is so important, because from these sources, one way or another, you have started to believe these lies, and it's been having you unprofitable. It's been keeping you broke. It's been keeping you mad, frustrated, unhappy, whatever you want to say, right? It's been keeping you in that state for a long time. It doesn't matter what type of affirmations you use. It doesn't matter what you do at night. It doesn't matter if you burn sage around the house and do yelling. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're trading, foundation is a fallacy, then you can't possibly succeed. I don't care what you do, right? But now that we understand, okay, how did these fallacies come up? Okay, you're probably listening to the wrong person on YouTube, or multiple people on YouTube, or terrible videos on YouTube, or friends that don't know what you're talking about, or social media and the perception of it, or your desires, this twisted and distorted what trading actually is. Now you know the origins of where these lies came from. Let's start to jump in exactly what these lies are. Starting with number one. Starting from the basics. So we set the foundation. We set the groundwork. You know where it came from. Now let's jump into the four. All right, it's time for takeoff. What color are we thinking? Red? Let's do red. It's point number one. It is important, and it deserves red. So what's the first lie? What's the first fallacy? Right. The first fallacy that I want to go over, and that I find so many traders have, is going to be very simple and very just understanding once we jump into it. Still don't know how to spell yet. Didn't get that dictionary yet you guys are supposed to send me. I forgot it. Expectations. Still learning how to spell, y'all. I'm telling you, man, I'm a trader. I was asleep in school. But expectations, why are expectations so detrimental, and why is it a fallacy for so many traders? Because you as a trader, right? Just draw a quick version of you. That's horrible. A little deformed, but it's going to work for this example. So you as a trader, right? You have formed expectations from all of these outside sources that's been filling your head. Whether it's, like we said from the last time, whether it's going to be gurus, social media, your own desires, clouding, judgment, etc., whatever it is, right? You have all of these different people, sources, flooding your mind and telling you what you need to expect from trading, not just what's possible, but what you should demand from it. And that can be a dangerous thing. And what are some actual manifestations of what these expectations in the market can actually look like? Well, I don't know why this has gotten so popular, but for some reason, there is a very popular 10% challenge in the market. Right? Now, what is a 10% challenge? 10%, for some reason, 10% has become the benchmark for what successful trading looks like on a month by month basis, right? A lot of traders, and this is probably, again, spurred by prop firms, right? So another one of these can be prop firms. For those that don't know what prop firms are essentially trading sources that you can get trading capital from, and you can trade their capital, you get a profit split, and you can make more money than if you had your own individual account, right? That's the purpose of a prop firm. Now, a lot of these prop firms, they target 10% a month in order for you to actually pass the challenge. And if you don't pass their 10% a month requirement, then you fail the challenge. And for some reason, this has spurred the conversation that I can write it over here, that success it has spurred this crazy idea, right? That success is going to be greater than or equal to 10% a month in the market. Because this is a ridiculous notion, because as we said in our last video, the top hedge funds in the market are not even getting near a 10% return a month in the market. But for some reason, right, because of these prop firms, which is one outside source, it has caused traders, right, that may be inexperienced or experienced to believe that success looks like being able to hit 10% every single month on a consistent basis, right? And for some people, right, it may not be for some people, it may not be this 10% number. For some people, it may be 5%, right? Because you may see your friends hitting 5%, or your favorite guru hitting 5%, or whatever the case may be. So for some people, they think that success is if you're hitting 5% or more. And if you're not, then something's wrong. Something is wrong with your trading if you're not hitting these numbers consistently. And that is what we call fallacy. It's not true, it's a lie. These are false expectations that you have in the market. 10% a month is not what success looks like, because chances are you're not going to be able to consistently hit this figure on a monthly basis. 5%, chances are if you're trading with great risk management, you may not be able to consistently hit this number on a consistent basis. So when you don't hit that number, what does that mean? Does that mean that you're a bad trader? Does that mean that you're an unprofitable trader? Absolutely not. But because of these false expectations, this fallacy that we've adopted, we think that this is what real success in the market looks like. And it's not at all what it looks like. The next expectation that I believe traders have in the market that is detrimental, that's killing their profitability, killing their trading chances, is the idea of big equals big. This is expectation number 2, which is ridiculous, is that big equals big. What does that mean? That means that, if I can draw it over here, big risk equals, now it looks like an X, but just work with me for a second. Big risk equals big reward. Big risk equals big reward equals rich. People think that in order to get rich in trading, you got to go big, right? That old adage, go big or go home. So a lot of traders, they're looking at videos on account flips. How can I flip my account from $1,000 to $10,000? Why? Because they think that big risk is going to be big reward, and big reward is going to equal you getting rich from trading. One thing I can promise you is if you have the big equals big mindset, if you have the big equals big expectation in the market, you will go broke faster than anybody else in the market, and you will stay broke, and you will stay losing in the market, because big does not equal big. Because big risk, yes, there can be big reward, but the issue with big risk is that big risk means that there's a higher risk of you blowing your account, and in the long run, big risk, right, in the long run is not sustainable. So while you may get rewards in the short term, and while your rewards may be great in the short term, and while in the short term you can actually hit 10% consistently or 5% consistently in the short term, in the long run, which is what we're interested in trading, because the way you truly get rich trading is in the long run over the span of 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and not having a monthly perspective or a year, 2 year perspective, but a longer term perspective. The idea of big risk equals big rewards is ridiculous, because over time, sooner or later, that big risk is going to kill your big rewards, and is going to kill even the slightest chances of you becoming rich, successful, independent from trading. So we have to kill this mindset, big equals big. That's why I made a video. Boom, it should be right there, right? That's why I made a video why this is a ridiculous idea, and why 3%, I believe is why 3% actually beats 10% in trading. It's the same exact concept, and it's an expectation, it's a fallacy that we must fix, because we must fix this expectation and get that out of our head, right? The idea of targeting small in order to actually win big in the long term. This is why small is greater than big in trading. And again, that makes no sense because you have the wrong expectations. But once you truly understand this video, once you truly understand this topic, then it makes sense. Okay, small equals big. Okay, my video I told you all to watch, 3% is greater than 10%. Okay, that makes sense now. So big does not equal big, but in fact, small is greater than big in trading. And these are just 2 expectations that I come up with, right? There's a whole lot of other expectations out of there. There can be expectations in regards to time, right? What does that mean? A lot of people think that trading, if you're not successful in 3 months or 6 months or in a year, right? If people think that you're not successful in trading in this amount of time, that there's something that you as a trader are inherently doing wrong because you should be successful in this amount of time. And if you're not, you're doing something wrong. And I'm telling you now, that's a fallacy as well, right? Expectations, a false expectation that you can become a successful trader overnight. That's a false expectation. Now, if you adopt the right system, can you? Yes. But trying to do that off strategy alone is ridiculous. And there's so many other expectations. So I want, and again, it's impossible for me to make an exhaustive list because there are so many expectations that traders have in the market that are not serving them. I want you to take an audit of every single expectation you have, from time it takes to become successful, from how much percent do I need to make per month in order to be successful. I want you to take every expectation and belief you have in trading, and I want you to ask yourself, where did this come from? How did I get this expectation? How did this come about? And is this expectation something that I should actually bank the foundation of my trading on? Or is this something that I learned that just doesn't make sense when I actually analyze it? Because again, it's impossible for me to make an exhaustive list, but when you do that practice of taking every expectation you have and really thinking about it, then you can really start to deconstruct your expectations and what trading does and should look like for you. So that's the first lie. That's the first fallacy, the fallacy of expectations and what it should look like. If you're not careful, these fallacies can make you believe that you're owed something in the market that you're not. The market doesn't owe you anything. That's why at the beginning I said I'm not successful in trading because it's been over a decade I've been trading. Because even with time passing by, you're not owed success. Nobody is owed success in trading. If so, that means the people that's been trading the longest will be the most successful. And I'm telling you, from seeing a whole lot of traders from a whole lot of different points in the market and in their trading journey, that can't be further from the truth. Erasing the whiteboard with one hand, that gives you a workout, man. After this year, I'm going to have the most jacked right arm that you have seen from any trader. I'm going to start having veins coming out of my forearms after a year of doing this. This is a workout. All right, perfect. Now, for this one, let's go green. We haven't done green in a round. So let's do green. So for the next one, what's the next lie that we've been taught? What's the next fallacy that we need to break in order to start not just winning, but killing the market? Whoa, I think Buddy died on us. Yep, I think Buddy died on us. Let's go back to blue. Blue's the way to go, baby. So the next one that we need to go over. I know the handwriting is awful, but just bear with me. Is the win trap. And I'm going to even put it in quotations so we can get a better idea. The win trap. What is the winning trap? I'm going to write this down. That the note takers can take notes because this is super important. This is arguably one of the most detrimental beliefs you can have in trading. The more trades I win, the more I make, the faster I get rich. That is a fallacy that you have believed. And surface level, you're like, well, RD, this makes sense, right? Because if I win more trades, then quite naturally, I make more money. If I make more money, then quite naturally, I get rich faster. This can't be further from the truth. Why? It's because this is the totally wrong mindset that you need to have as a trader. You shouldn't even think this way. Is this statement true? Sure. But I write this message to a successful trader. Traders I even spoke to, they read it. They're like, what is this garbage? What is this? And if you don't have the mindset that this is garbage, then you have the wrong mindset and you have believed the fallacy of the win trap because it's a trap in trading, right? Why is that? Let's deconstruct this. So while yes, this is true if you take it at face value, The danger of this is that more trades I win, the more money I make. Let's just focus on this first part right here. The more trades that you win does equal to more money that you make. But the focus should never be on how can I win more trades. This should never be the focus of your trade. And that's why the successful traders, when they read this, they like, what is this argument? What are you showing me? Because the successful traders, they don't focus on more trades. And that's a trap that a lot of traders fall into, is how can I win more trades? Because if I win more trades, then I am able to make more money in the market. That's a terrible dollar sign. Let's redo that. Let's act like that didn't happen. Let's take 5. If I win more trades, I am able to make more money. And that's not true if you think that way. Because as a matter of fact, your thought process in the market, right? And I'll even write it below so we can compare. This is a more correct and accurate version, right? And if I back up, you can see the more I trade flawlessly, the more I flawlessly execute my what? My edge, right? I didn't say my strategy, right? I didn't say my morning session, the more I execute, the more I learn. I didn't say any of that. I said the more I execute my edge in the market, the more trades I will win, the more money I will make. And then that is the path to getting rich. Notice how this is different from this. Because here, your focus is on winning more trades, while here, your focus is on how can I flawlessly execute my edge in the market. How can I not flawlessly execute my strategy? No, how can I flawlessly execute my edge? And what do I mean by edge? Edge is that statistical thing that gives you an edge or a benefit in the market. And the edge does not come from strategy, it comes from system. How can I flawlessly execute my edge? This is what winning traders think. And this is the difference between a broke trader and a winning trader, because a winning trader doesn't have this win trap fallacy in their mind. A winning trader has this in their mind, which is the correct way to view the market. Because here, the problem with here, right, and this is one of the biggest problems when it comes to the trading trap, the win trap, right, is because, let's see if I can write, let's write on the side, right? Because when you as a trader, right, my stick figures are like a 1 for 10 today. These are terrible. But when you as a trader, right, I'll even write trader up here so we don't get confused. When you as a trader, when you're focusing, right, on wins, guess what? You're going to want to make more and more wins, right? So then your brain, I'm not going to try to drive a brain, but you as a trader, your brain, you're going to try to win more, right? And when you try to win more, what are you going to do? You're going to start doing things like overtrade, right? You're going to do things like higher leverage. You're going to start doing things outside your strategy, like trading different sessions, right? Trading different pairs or different currencies or different stocks, right? You're going to start doing a whole lot of manifestations of emotions. Why? In order for you to actually try to start winning more in the market. Why? Because this is your mindset, right? Your mindset is the more trades I win, the more money I make, so the faster I get rich. So you're going to start to try to do what? You're going to start to try to start winning more trades. And when you start to try to win more trades, subconsciously, you're going to start doing all of these things. And as you all know from our last video, I think the video titled Fear, and I'll link it to this video. But as you know from that last video, the manifestations, the literal physical manifestations of emotions of fear, what it does to your trading, you're going to start over trading. You're going to start having higher leverage. You're going to start trading sessions you shouldn't trade, pairs you shouldn't trade. And soon you're going to start trading a strategy that's not even a strategy anymore. Why? Because your focus is to win more trades. And when this is your focus, when your focus is the win trap, this fallacy, that is one of the best ways to get broke quickly in the market. Whereas if your mindset is, I'm not going to focus on winning because winning is not important to me, aka detachment, which was the last video. That's a whole nother story. But winning is not important to me. Instead, I'm going to focus on flawlessly. What does flawlessly mean? Flawlessly means without impurity, without messing up, without any emotions or the manifestations of emotions getting in the way. I am going to perfectly execute my what? My edge. What is edge? Edge is synonymous for strategy. I'm sorry, take that back. Screw that. Completely take that back. Edge is synonymous. And let me write this down so we don't get confused. There we go. That looks right. That's perfect. Edge is synonymous for system, not strategy. So the more you flawlessly focus on executing your edge or flawlessly executing your system, the more trades that you're going to win, the more money that you're going to make, and the richer you will become faster if you focus on your system, if you focus on your edge and not focus on winning more trades. That's why so many traders go broke. Because instead of focusing on edge, they focus on strategy. Instead of focusing on system, they focus on how can I win more. So understand, you as a trader cannot win or lose more trades than you're supposed to. As a trader, you are going to win the exact amount of trades that you should win. And I take that last statement back. You're going to win the exact amount of trades that you should win as a trader in the market. However, you can lose way more than you're supposed to lose. Because if you try to force wins, you're not God. When you try to force wins, wins are going to be repelled from you. You have to attract wins in your trading and not chase them. And that's another fallacy, right? And this goes along with the win trap. Is that so many traders, they're trying to chase wins, they're trying to chase profitability instead of attracting it, right? So they're trying to chase different strategies, they're trying to chase all of this external stuff that they think are going to make them successful. The only way to become successful in trading is you attracting wins instead of chasing them. How do you start attracting wins and stop chasing wins? Easy. You follow this mindset. And RD, look, I don't have an edge. RD, I don't have a system. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. If you just have a strategy and not a system, that's fine. 90+% of the traders I meet are just like that. That's why I teach my system so that traders can have a system, traders can have an edge, so that they're able to actually follow the profitable mindset of what winning investors do and stop following this win trap mindset that's literally keeping you trapped in a constant state of losing and poverty when it comes to the market. Get the system so you can have the edge, so you can flawlessly execute it. That should be your only focus. So win trap, that's the second fallacy. And now let's get to the third. It's heating up. That's all I gotta say. It's heating up. Because I don't even know what part we're on now. Because everybody knows I'm a fan of part two. Most people know I'm a fan of part three, but have we ever had a part four before? I don't know if we've ever had a part four yet, but it's the first time for everything, and it's heating up. It's getting good. It was already good, but it's getting good. Let's go into part four. Let's go into what fallacy number three is. Let's change up our markers. Right? Let's use red. Since our green marker decided to die on us, let's use red. This is the third fallacy. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I think it's pretty self-explanatory once you dive into it, but it's something that so many traders deal with. I dealt with when I first started trading because I thought this was true, which is just garbage looking back. This. This, let's focus the camera. There we go, baby. We need to get a cameraman, get that camera work on point. But look, this is something that so many traders believe that is so ridiculous, right? And I understand why they believe it because I used to believe it. And it's the idea that complexity equals more money. What does that mean? That means that the strategy that you use, a lot of traders believe the strategy This is what I mean, is that complexity equals more money. So many people think that your strategy needs to be complex, right? And what does complex mean? Let's all be on the same page. Complexity, the way that we're using this definition, complexity means simply having a lot of moving parts, right? So that means that there's 50 things that you have to check. That means that the literal stars above in the constellations, they have to perfectly align. And then you got to check the COT reports. And then you're going to have to check the news. And then you're going to have to check all of these things. You're going to have a lot of complexity to your trading because you think the more complexity, the more sophistication is going to equal more money and more profits because it's more complex, it's more sophisticated. And I'm telling you now that complexity does not equal more money. Complexity equals, let's just write it down here. And I'll write it conservatively. You like how conservatively I wrote that, how undercover I wrote that? I know you do. But this is the reality of things, is that complexity to your strategy, adding more complexity doesn't equal more money. In fact, adding more complexity actually equals your account getting blown. And I'm saying this because I have seen traders do this over and over and over and over again because you as the trader, right? Let's do a stick figure so I have somebody to blame, somebody to point at, somebody to scold. Let's give you straight here this time. Boom. Because you as the trader, you have been taught to believe the fallacy that complexity is going to give you more money in the market. So I've seen so many traders that had a great strategy, right? They could have had a strategy, a simple. They could have had a simple break and retest strategy, right? And this simple strategy could have given them around, say, 30% win rate, targeting a 1 to 4. And if you are a mathematician out there, then you know that if you win 30% of your trades and your average win is a 1 to 4, that technically you are making money in the market. AKA, this is your strategy. And once you develop it with psychology, and once you develop it with an execution, it becomes a system. So these traders develop a great system, but however, they start listening to outside sources. They start listening to different people. They start listening to friends. They start listening to gurus. This trader right here, right? He was profitable, slightly profitable, but it was profitable. And if he kept working his edge in the market, he would have made much more money. But he started listening to these outside sources that told them, hey man, break and retest is too simple of a strategy. Break and retest doesn't work. You need to go over into ICT, right? You need to go over into smart money, right? And you need to go over into all of these different things. And then once you get into smart money, they say, hey, smart money is great, but you need to start reading the COT reports. Because if you don't read the COT reports, then it's impossible to make money because you don't know what the big boys are doing. And people develop all of these different fallacies, right? Adding all of these different layers of complexity to their trades because they think, oh, this strategy is too simple to work. Everybody knows that strategy, and the big banks are just using your money as liquidity. Okay, I need to switch to ICT. Well, ICT is a little bit too simple. Okay, let's just do other forms of smart money. Okay, smart money, everybody's doing that. The big boys know you're doing that now. So now we need to switch over to COT and do all of this different stuff. And I'm telling you now, none of this matters. And all of this, the only thing that it leads to is your account getting absolutely and completely and utterly blown. Like blown to the moon, blown to Jupiter, the stars, the Milky Way, all the different galaxies and back. Your account going to be gone. Unrecoverable. Because the more complex your strategy is, right, the more moving parts that your strategy has, the more chances that you as the trader have to make mistakes. And as we know, you make money from being able to consistently and flawlessly execute your edge. So if there are more opportunities, if there are more steps to your trading, right? You find a trade on a daily time frame, and then you have to go down to the 4 hour and confirm it, then down to the 3 hour, then down to the 1 hour, then down to the 1 minute, then down to the 5 second. The more complexity you have to the trading, the more opportunities that you have to mess up. What does mess up mean? Mess up does not mean losing money, right? Again, another fallacy that we believe, right? And I'm losing room on this board, but messing up does not equal losing. Messing up equals strategy deviation. What the heck does this mean? When I say that you mess up as a trader, that doesn't mean losing money. Because if you are trading like you're supposed to be trading, you will naturally lose money. Why? That's why we have win rates, meaning that if your win rate is 30%, that means that 70% of the time you're losing. It's natural, it's common. You're still making money in the long run if you just consistently execute. When I say mess up, I'm saying that you as the trader, You're messing up not because you're losing, that's ridiculous, but because you are deviating from your strategy, right? And the strategy is the thing that makes up your system, which makes you money, but you're deviating from your strategy. That means that you're trading something that's outside of what your strategy is. You're trading something outside of what you have tested and you know has a statistically proven edge. You messed up. And when you mess up as a trader, guess what happens? Your account gets blown over time. And the more complexity you have, the more moving parts you have. Why? Because you wanted to have a real sophisticated system. Why? Because your other system was too simple, too plain, too basic, not interesting enough. Because you wanted to have a more complex system with more moving parts, more areas and parts in which you could make subtle tweaks, subtle mistakes. And when you combine that throughout the whole trade, because you have a lot of moving parts, you create mess ups in your trading, and that leads to your blown account over time. And it can be something as simple as step one, you do one slight thing wrong. Step two, you jumped a gun by 5 seconds. Step three, you forgot to do one thing, you left one thing out, and you got in a little bit earlier because you thought your price was going to move away from you, whatever it is. But these little mess ups that you make throughout the trade add to the whole trade being messed up, and that adds and messed up, meaning you deviated from your strategy because those little tweaks that you made throughout the life cycle of the trade, those little tweaks that you made throughout each step of the trade made you trade a strategy that might have been founded on what your strategy is. In other words, the trade's foundation may have been on the strategy, but it did not follow the strategy. It did not follow your system. It did not follow your edge flawlessly. So you did not trade your strategy. You traded a deviation of your strategy. You messed up. You have no idea what the risk reward is going to be. You have no idea what the win rate is going to be. Why? Because it's different than what you paper traded. It's different from what you tested because you made slight tweaks. And over time, I guarantee you, you're going to blow your account. That's why I tell people get a simple strategy and do not try to get a complex one. That's not me saying that I'm against ICT. No, I know a lot of traders that do very well with ICT. I'm not against smart money. I'm not against COT reports. I traded COT reports for a very long time. I'm not saying any of these things. I'm just saying do not believe in the fallacy at a more complex strategy for whatever reason, whether you think the banks are after you, whether you think the banks are using your money as liquidity, it doesn't matter what the reason is out there. I've heard it all after over a decade. Bottom line is the more simple your strategy is, the better. The less complexity, the less moving parts your strategy has, the better. Because then you're able to consistently and flawlessly execute it if it has one or two steps compared to 15. So stay away from complexity, stay away from complex strategies, and don't let any person out there make you think that you need to get their complex strategy in order to make money. That's another point I want to bring up. A lot of people out there, they may just add complexity to the strategy just for the sake of being able to sell their strategy to other people. And I'm not saying that their strategy doesn't work. Their strategy could very much so work, but I also want you to know that that very simple strategy works just as well as well. That was terrible grammar. Just as well as well. That other strategy works as well. So don't believe in this lie. Don't let any guru, don't let any Instagram story, don't let anything push this lie on you. Yes, it's cool to look at a trading chart and see 1,000 trend lines and see all of this garbage on there, and it looks so sophisticated and you look so smart and your parents are proud of you and your wife is calling you Hercules, Hercules because you have a complex strategy that nobody else can understand. But I'm telling you, brother, you're going to blow your account in the long run. Keep it simple. Complexity is truly, truly, truly one of those things that robs so many traders from being successful, and they don't even realize it. And that complexity is a huge, huge, huge fallacy that people don't even see, they don't even understand, and they don't even know. But it's literally wiping out what you do as a trader. Ooh, I'm blinded by the light. I've been singing The Weeknd. His new album just came out. I'm not even a Weeknd fan, but boy, I've been singing it. But anyway, let's get back to it. So we've gone over the four. Nope, I lied. We've gone over the three. And this is number four. And in number four is going to be a very simple solution on how we, as traders, are actually going to be able to counteract these fallacies. You counteract these fallacies by doing the opposite. I think that's common sense. But how can we do that practically? And this may be, it's not may, this is the biggest fallacy. And this is exactly why I made this channel to educate traders and to actually have you start making money and stop chasing your own tail and stop spending and wasting all your money on stuff that's not going to make you win in the market. Is this fallacy right here. This once, and this was years and years and years and years ago, but once I discovered this fallacy and corrected it in my trading, that's when everything changed. This was that aha moment. This was that realization moment. And this is why I created this channel, so everybody else can have that aha realization moment and accomplish whatever your dreams and goals are in trading. And this is the fallacy that you need the perfect strategy. And I don't even have time to unpack all of this, but there is no such thing as a perfect strategy. Because people think that there is somehow a strategy that exists that has a high people somehow believe this exists. That I can find a strategy that's so amazing they can have a high win rate, let's say 70%, which is an incredible win rate, but a high win rate, and also have a high risk to reward. People think that this type of strategy actually exists. And guess what? People that want to sell you a strategy, they're going to tell you that this actually exists. And when you, as the trader, let me draw you down here. I'm going to try to do this one well. I'm going to take my time so we can have one good stick figure for the video. All right, let's do the hair. Do the hair. He turned out decent. Okay, I'm happy. As long as we get one good one in, we're good. So you as the trader, right, you're going to be sold the fallacy that you're going to need a perfect strategy, that you're going to need this magical strategy, right, that has this high win rate, high risk reward, whatever, and you're going to end up buying this strategy on the hopes of getting these types of results. And when you don't get these types of results, it's always going to be your fault and not your teacher's fault. Why? It's because this doesn't exist. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And there's going to be people that's going to come out and say, RD, you're wrong, you're wrong. Over the long run, this strategy does not exist. It doesn't exist. Stop chasing it. There's no such thing as a perfect strategy. And the time that you're spending trying to find the perfect strategy, and the money that you are spending trying to find the perfect strategy, and the emotional wreckage. I don't think that's how you spell wreckage, but the emotional wreckage that you as a trader are experiencing on your quest to finding this perfect strategy and getting your money taken, right? Because they've given you false expectations, false dreams, false hopes that their strategy is going to be able to do these things for you in your life. It is wrecking you as a trader. It's killing your profitability. And it's just killing your emotional state. So now you as a trader, you want to give up trading. You don't even want to keep trading. Because you're saying nobody's making money. It's impossible to make money in trading. Why? Because you're searching for this perfect strategy, and you're going to have a whole lot of people trying to sell you a perfect strategy because you're actually naive enough, because you believe the fallacy, you're actually naive enough to think that a perfect strategy like this actually exists. And you're forever and ever and ever, you're forever going to be chasing your own tail when it comes to the market. You're forever going to keep going in this loop around and around and around as you continue to find that perfect strategy that's going to make all the difference, let you quit your job, whatever the case may be. It doesn't exist. Instead, I'm not just going to tell you perfect strategy doesn't exist in the video. No, RD is a little bit nicer than that. Instead, what you need to do is find strategy, marry that strategy with psychology and with an execution plan. And that's going to give you a system. And this system is what's going to make you rich as a trader. Notice I didn't say make you money. RD is not in the business of trying to have traders make money. That's too low of a goal. If you make $1 trading, then guess what? You've made money. If you made $1 for the year, guess what? You're a profitable trader. I want you to get rich trading, because that's the whole goal of it, right? And stop chasing the perfect strategy. Even if you have a strategy that has a, say, 50% win rate, right? And say your risk to reward is a 1 to 2.5. Even if this was your strategy, right? We know at a 50% run rate, a 1 to 2, you're breaking even. So a 1 to 2.5, you're only making money on that 0.5. Guess what? That 0.5% can be an edge in the market. It can. As crazy as it sounds, it can. This is a profitable strategy. Profitable strategy is not enough to make you as the trader money. Instead, we're going to have to take that strategy and create a system. Because a perfect strategy doesn't work. And even if a strategy out there like this did exist, and somehow you as a trader got your hands on it, I guarantee you would still lose money. Because even with a great, quote unquote, great or perfect strategy, you still need a system behind it. Because if you don't have a system, you're not going to make money in the long run. And I have a whole video on that on my channel, exactly what a system is, all of that good stuff. But look, bottom line is stop chasing the perfect strategy. That's a fallacy. And we've gone over so far the 4 common fallacies that's in the market that you need to change, that you need to adjust, and that you need to confront if you ever want to make money trading. And I know the main question is going to be, okay, RD, look, you told us the 4 fallacies, and it makes sense that if these are 4 fallacies, then we need to know that they're lies. We need to know the truth, which is the opposite of them, and start doing it. But what's a practical way for us to do this? And it's very simple. I want to teach you my system, period. No ifs, ands, buts around it, no workaround, no whatever. I want to teach you a winning system, not just a winning system. I want to teach you my winning system so you can stop chasing the perfect strategy. You can get away from these 4 fallacies. Because with a system, that's how you become profitable trading. It's not enough alone for a strategy because you need psychology as well, and you need a way to execute everything. And the execution is, God, you already know what I'm about to say. Execution is the hot sauce, baby. Because you can have the strategy, you can have the psychology, but if you don't have the execution, then it's never going to work together. Right. And I have a completely free community, right, where I post videos. I do live one-on-ones. I do one-on-ones with people. I do live calls, whatever, because I just want to help you all, A, become profitable, and B, adopt my system so that you, as a trader, can start profiting in this market. Stay away from these 4 fallacies. See them for what they are and make corrections in your trading. It's RD. I'm out, baby.